Now for touching off X and Y, was our position for Z. For X and Y, since we're going to be touching this cylinder, or this pin, you know what I mean, you can also do it on the inside of the hole, whichever one you prefer. I like to use the pin, because that's what's actually going to be touching our workpiece. You'll want the needle kind of angled like that, and then you'll end up moving the indicator to adjust. But you'll want to start there, and then you want to get your indicator as straight on with your first axis of motion first. So in this case, I'm going to start with Y. So then I'll bring the indicator down and over. And you want to get, eyeball it close to center of the pin. Come down in Z's so that you're just off of the surface there. And then walk it in close on Y. Come back down in Z a little bit more, and then Y. And then, again, you only want to be just touching the indicator. So I like to only be about 5 thousandths in where I'm touching off a diameter. I'm going to end up going probably closer to 15, but we're just barely touching there. So I just rotated the glass or the crystal so that I can have the graduations in a nice position. So we'll call it, I like to first move in Y, and you also want to make sure that you're straight here, as straight as you can, rotating this. And then what I like to do is then change over to X, and moving nice and slow in your X axis, you want to find your high spot. See, when you can see when you go around or go across the pin, you're able to find your high spot. So that gets me, roughly close to where I want to be. So you found the high spot there. Now what you can do is rotate 90 degrees, and you can see I'm way off, but I am close to center, front to back, but I'm not on center left to right. So we'll have to adjust our needle. But since I know that I'm close front to back, I'll come up in Z so that the needle isn't touching the pin, and then I'll just rotate 90 degrees to the side, and then I'll just visually, kind of bump it out so that looks like it'll just barely touch, and then swing it back to the other side. And you can see that it's about the same, give or take, on both sides. Actually a little biased to this right hand side. So we'll slide it over here, just a couple clicks. And that looks pretty good. And then we'll come down on Z again. And then move it forward in Y, because we were pretty close swinging the indicator back and forth. So now I'm touching on that. I have right close to 0. I don't like to touch anything yet, because we're not going to be super precise yet. We're just trying to get it roughly close so that then we can be precise. What you'll need then is something like a mirror, or you can use your phone camera. I usually use my phone camera, but since I'm using my phone camera right now, I need to find my mirror. Intermission.